Hi, thank you for joining me. This is Helen with the Better Half vlog. Today I wanted to share with you a little bit of a recap of how I use my Hobonichi Weeks throughout the month of December. So things have changed a little bit, so let's get into the details now. Some of the things that I use are my blend pen. And this is, I believe, a zebra. Yeah, I think so. It's a zebra blend pen, and it comes in 3 different colors. It has the red, the blue, and the black, which is the main that I use. And then it's in the 0.7. And here I have a zebra mile liner highlighter in color gray. I have a Zig clean color dot in kind of like a color coral, if you will. Okay, so that's what I've been using on this planner. Now, I do use this as my everyday carry. If you haven't watched my first video ever with this new wallet / planner cover from Giglio from Italy, this is what I have. I have my credit cards in here. I have my cash in here. I have some different stash of cash in here for different reasons. I'm not really using cash too much these days, so I'm using a couple of cards for points, and I add in my log back here what I use, or these days, if you watch my other video on budgeting, I've been using a different Hobonichi Weeks Mega in the color pink to track down my variable expenses. So here, let's flip through the pages real quick. Year at a glance, I'm not really sure what I'm going to use this for. I think I'm going to start logging in my routines if I successfully accomplish and achieve the routine that I've created for my full day. I have the AM work and PM routines. If you haven't watched that video, I'll link that here. Year at a glance, I think I'm going to start tracking down my weight here, because one of the most important things for me this year is to just kind of let go of some pounds that I have added into my life for the last several years after I moved to Arizona. And so I think I'm going to track my weight here to see the difference throughout the year. And then here on the first month ever, because I got so excited to use this planner in December, because it starts in December, that I started using this kind of like a highlight of the day. So I was doodling a little bit. I added some stickers, and this is from Coffee Monster Co. And just maybe sometimes just writing one thing I'm doing, and then maybe a shopping at the mart, and yeah, things like that. So I just been kind of doing that here. Now going to the future, I think I'm going to continue doing the highlight of the day, because that really helps me when I forget to journal on a certain day, to come back here and just kind of remember, oh yeah, that day was about that day and this is what happened, and I get to start journaling that day to catch up. And my Hobonichi cousin for the memory keeping. And then, okay, so let's jump into the first week that I used Hobonichi Weeks of 2021. And what I did here in the month of December was I separated 2 columns. And I had, on the left, I had things that I had to do for work. And on the right, I had things that, it was just like a running list of things that I had to do. It didn't necessarily have to be done on each day, but just throughout the week to just kind of get those tasks done. So if you remember my first ever video with Hobonichi Weeks, what I was doing was I was using my Quadrivides, the red big planner, to do my messy brain dumping in there, and then I was cleaning up the plan here in my Hobonichi Weeks. So that's what I did here on this week, and that really got me very productive. And as you can see, I checked off a ton of stuff. And then on the right here, because I was using this kind of like a brain dump throughout the week, whatever comes up, and as I'm working and I have some questions for one of my employees, I would just jot them down here. Some cleaning tasks I did here, simple tasks that I couldn't fit into here, I just put it here as a running list. And then I added this little thing, a piece of paper, because I realized I wanted to start pumping out meals with some kind of an organized planning, which I used to do prior to, and then I forgot to do them. So it was kind of like my meals were kind of mumbo jumbo throughout the week. And so I decided to add that into here. And the way I did it was I didn't have a meal plan per day, but what I did was meal plan for the week. And so whatever ingredients I needed out of here, I put it in a little sticky note and I just order it through Amazon Fresh or Instacart through Costco, or I actually went to the market and bought the ingredients. So I had those ready. So going to the next week, what then I did was, again, I had the two columns. I had the work and I had now the personal list I didn't put here. I think I just kind of added everything here because I didn't have too many personal tasks that I was doing. And so what I did here on the right side was I put in cleaning tasks or decluttering tasks, because those were kind of things that I wanted to focus on this week, because I had so many different big projects that I needed to focus on. I couldn't get the smaller work tasks to be done. So I had a rest day on Tuesday and just really focused on cleaning and decluttering the house on this week. On the right side, again, I tried the meal planning for the week, and I kind of fell off here because I was so overwhelmed with everything, all the big projects, that on the cooking side, we did a lot of takeouts, or my husband helped out and cooked a lot and things like that. And so that's what was going on here. The following week, I realized, okay, I'm not even going to meal plan in here because I was not following it at all on this week. So what I decided to do was, at first I was like writing down things that I needed to get done, and then I separated into two columns again. So on the left side was work stuff, and on the right side were things that I wanted to get done throughout, my personal. So you'll notice the words Notion here. So for these several days, I was really working on refocusing back into the Notion, because I realized as a company, what we do is a lot of things are on Notion. And so we share our stuff through Notion, our goals, our tasks, and our projects. And so my projects are really outlined there. So I realized, you know what? I need to go back to Notion for something in my functional planning process. And so I did. I created a future log, and you're probably watching this on the side here, but and from the future log, I get to carry into my functional planning into my Hobonichi cousin, which you'll see another video about, of how I'm using that as my main carry-all functional planner alongside Notion. So that's what I did here. And then down here, just some simple tasks that I need to get done. And again, a lot of resting on this weekend, because I needed to kind of catch up on my sleep, and also I was just really tired from all the work that I was putting into the last several weeks. And on the right side here, I decided to do something different because I was trying to take it easy as far as smaller, simple tasks on this week because of the big projects. I added in each day a word that I learned on each day using Merriam.com, or I think the other one was dictionary.com. So they have word of the day, and I just wrote down, and I learned new words. So that was cool. And I got this idea from Sterling Inc. And I think she does this in a whole separate journal, but I decided to just try it out here, and it was wonderful. The following week, what I did was I had my task here on the left side, and then I had my work tasks on the right side. And again, I really ended up not really fully functionally using this planner for my work tasks, because I've already migrated into Notion for those projects and tasks. And so here, the things that I did at home or in my personal side, I did switch it up a little bit, and I would use these zig dots to put each task, and then I would just color them in a box, in a square here, to just easily see at a glance what did I get done, or things lingering around, and that's what I did there. On the right side, because this is a Christmas week, I started doing a running list. And so this is where I started brain dumping. Instead of my Quavadis, the red big planner that you've seen in my previous video, I started doing my brain dumping here. And it kind of worked out well. So this is the Alastair method, and it was created by a gentleman. His last name is Alastair. I cannot remember his first name, but if you look up Alastair, I think it's spelled Alastar, I think. Don't quote me on it, but you'll see a lot of videos on YouTube talking about this method. So it's more like a future planning kind of bullet journal style. But in my application, I labeled Monday through Saturday, but really that counts for a weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And I had a running list of all the things that I wanted to get done. And on here, so I would put a dot before the task. And when it's done, I would put an X to which day I actually finished that task. So that way I knew, which days I was really heavily focused on doing things and getting things done, and which days I totally goofed, and which is okay with me as well, because that's life. On the bottom here, I started tracking down my laundry because one of the big concerns I had was having a big, huge pile of clean clothes lying in my bedroom sofa for me to fold or put away. And I just could not, that was just too overwhelming for me. So what I decided to do was on each day, I'm just doing little laundry every single day. And so I wanted to see how many loads I did throughout the week to keep the house clean and my bedroom sofa clean instead of having all these piles on there. And then on the bottom right here, I started tracking down my cleaning tasks and decluttering tasks because I wanted to really focus on decluttering the house a little bit more. I have so many more to go. I'm really actually focusing that throughout the year of 2021 if you haven't seen it. And I would love to show you, like, do a house tour once that whole project is done throughout 2021. So that's what I'm working on here. I'm actually testing out the routines right now with the AM work and PM. That's what I'm doing. Now on this week is when I started my actual kind of planned out AM work and PM routines. And so what I decided to do, since I moved into my Hobonichi cousin Avec for my functional planning, which I'll show you in a different video, I decided to use my Hobonichi Weeks this week to track down my emotions and, my wins and my falls for 90 days. Because what my dad told me was it takes 3 days for you to actually get it together when you start something new. And then it takes 90 days for you to make it a part of your life. And I think this goes, and a lot of people talk about this, but this is what I decided to do. So I'm starting to track down my emotions, my wins and falls here. And then on the right side, I am now keeping my running list. This is more of a brain dump session here. So throughout the week, if I see like, okay, what am I doing here? What am I not doing something here? And I would just jot down as things come up. I would just jot them down here. And again, I'm using the Alastair method and just putting a square once it's done and coloring it in so I could see it at a glance. Okay, these are the dots that I need to work on for the rest of the week. I'm putting the boxes or X's to the days that I finished that task. And I'm also doing a diagonal line going in those squares of the week if I'm working on it, but it's not complete. So I know it's kind of lingering and I still have to work on something with that task. That's what I'm doing. And then with laundry, again, I'm tracking it to see, like today I ran another load, so that's one. And this laundry is different from this laundry because so laundry is a big deal right now for me. And so that's what I'm using my planner to really track down. I want to make sure that I'm doing it each day of the week. And yesterday I didn't because I was really, really tired from so much work and keeping up with my routines for several days and waking up at 5 a.m. if you watch that video. So on the second day or third day, I woke up at 7:30 a.m. instead of 5, and that was okay with me because my body needed rest. And so I wanted to listen to my body on that day. Now I did do the day 4, which is today that I'm recording this video. And I will be jotting down stuff here as the day finishes. And going into next week, I will be using it again for tracking for the rest of the 90 days. So it goes up to day 14 here, which is really exciting. I would like to see how this all evolves. This routine idea evolves in my physical body, as well as emotional, and also just minimalizing this home, the space, decluttering, tossing, donating, and also keeping up with all the house chores, as well as all my work getting done without overwhelming, sensation. So that's what I'm working on with those routines. Again, I started the running task from whatever I know are going to fall behind on this week, or I know that it's going to be next week. I'm just jotting them down here before it goes into my avec. And so that's what I have going on here. Now in the back section, I do have so I used to track my credit card usage here in my gas tracker. I'm still going to continue to use the Hobonichi Weeks because it's always on the go. My Apple stuff, and then I have my running credit card list. I haven't really used other credit cards, but now I migrated this over to my other Hobonichi Weeks. So make sure to watch that video if you're wondering about my budgeting system. Just a little flip through. These were my Christmas gift lists, and then just brain dumping again here. And every time I dump my brain into this section of the Hobonichi Weeks, it does in the future go into my avec and also in my Notion. So if it's good enough, it'll make it. Some orders that I'm tracking down, and now you'll see in my avec video that I am starting to do that there. So I won't be using Hobonichi Weeks any longer for that. Some of my wish list for my planners, I got my Giglio A5 and Croc, and my husband bought that for me. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later. And then I did a little bit of scripture reading here, it seems, but now I have a whole AM routine that incorporates that into a different Bible reading journal that I've started, which is amazing. And some more ideas. I printed these sticker sheets out, and I designed it in Canva. And what I did was, it was supposed to go into an A6 size journal, and it actually printed out really, really tiny. So I had to reprint it, and then I didn't want to waste these beautiful, images, my photos of my babies. And so I just cut it down to size, and I just put it in here. I'll probably jot down a couple things about these photos. And then here are some more YouTube ideas. I'm just brain dumping in here throughout the day if I have a quick inspiration. And I have all these other pages to go. I'll be starting out a whole new spread on January to just brain dump in here, so it goes by sections of months, so I know which month I'm brain dumping in here. So that's how I've been using Hobonichi Weeks. Thanks for joining me today, and look out for that video that I'll be posting shortly about the functional planner, my Hobonichi cousin avec, and how it goes together with my Notion along with this listy too from Nolte. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.